or using the hashtag ShareFile. We are going to go through some great content today, and I know we'll get some great questions. So please submit those questions using the Q&A panel at any time during our webinar. It's on the right-hand side of your screen. You should see that as Q&A panel. And finally, we are recording this, and we'll be sharing the recording with you once our webinar concludes. All right, so today we are thrilled to have with us Brian Tankersley. Welcome, Brian.
Welcome, Sam. I'm glad to be here today, folks. My name is Brian Tankersley. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee. I teach courses all over the U.S. and Canada for K2, and I do work with CPA firms and other organizations. This is my direct contact information on here. If I can help you, if you have questions or anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, anyway, that's a little bit about me. Another thing you need to know that's not on the bio is that I've used ShareFile since about 2007 or 2008. K2 started using ShareFile early in the days of ShareFile, back before they were required by Citrix. So I've followed the evolution and seen the changes that have occurred over the last few years, and they're really moving this platform forward. So with that, you should know that I use ShareFile pretty much every day. What we're gonna talk about today is some of the ways you can use ShareFile. Most of you have used ShareFile to go in and send a file to somebody or request a file from someone. What we're actually going to do today is we're going to go in and show you some of the additional tools that are associated with it beyond file sharing. So no matter whether you're in legal, engineering, architecture, accounting, medical, whatever industry you're in, there are huge regulatory compliance problems today, and ShareFile helps you meet those things without having to have heavy-duty overhead associated with it. They have enterprise-grade security, and they comply with a lot of very specific privacy regulations. So they have US-based servers and many other things that are needed when we're trying to comply. Okay, so as we think about this now, you pretty much have to send files securely these days. The law looks at email the same way they look at call histories for postcards. They don't need a warrant. Nobody needs a warrant to look at that information, and if it's revealed as part, if somebody gets their hands on it, it's usable and admissible in court. With 47 state privacy laws, emailing unencrypted confidential data may qualify as a data breach. Okay, so what we're going to do today again is show you how you can do things that are very quick in your normal workflow using ShareFile to get more done with it this busy time of the year. Okay, and I think Sam's got a poll now. Sam?
All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to launch this poll. Everyone should be able to see that, and it says, what is your biggest workplace challenge?
Yeah, and Sam, I know you've been having some of your workplace challenges today. I think we shared, but I know I was having some phone issues earlier today. So there's no telling the kinds of problems you're going to have in a normal day.
That is true.
So hope everybody will pick an answer over there, and once you finish picking an answer, Sam will actually share the responses with us here in just a few seconds.
Yep. Speaking of phones, can you hear me, Brian?
I can hear you great.
Perfect. We are getting a lot of responses already. We've got almost 100% have voted. And it looks like the one that's winning is streamlining client communications, with 46% of our viewers saying that that's their biggest challenge in the workplace. Behind that is email overwhelm, with 35% saying that's their issue. And then right behind email overwhelm is staying current with industry regulations. I'm going to go ahead, thank you everybody for answering that. I'm going to go ahead and close the poll and pass it back to Brian.
Okay, and that's not really surprising, Sam, to get those answers. Trying to communicate and get that data securely to and from clients. If you're going to use the portal, that's great, and it's a usable tool, works very well with things. But let's deal with some scenarios that we deal with in our everyday life. Okay, so we're going to go through in here again and show you. We're going to go through and show you some of the ways you can use ShareFile, additional things to some of the things that are part of ShareFile in order to get more work done. So, for example, we're going to show you how you can use the mobile app to capture and send data to people. We're going to show you how, without leaving, you can compose an email in Outlook, you can put a 300 meg attachment on it, and then send it as an encrypted email to somebody through ShareFile, where the ShareFile Outlook app actually does some work for you and creates the ShareFile item for you. We're going to go through and show you how some approval tools, including a thing you can use for request list, where you have list of documents that you need to get from somebody. Whether you're in banking and you need to get, let's say, the loan application information from a borrower that wants to buy a house, or whether we're looking at a lawyer that needs to get a bunch of documents in response to a subpoena, or interrogatories, or whatever it is. Many times you need to have back and forth on things, and keeping that stuff out of email will save us all a lot of time. Finally, we're going to look at something called versioning that's included in this, which is a great tool you can use that'll help you out. So in our next slide over here, you can see this is a real scenario. Let's say that we have Rupert over here, and Rupert decides, or let's say it's Sam, and Sam decides that he wants to. And this is a he, Sam, but let's say Sam decides he wants to go out and go skiing. And so Sam does this, and then he realizes that he needs to get his W-2 sent in to his accountant. Okay, now this could just as easily have been some kind of test results that somebody got from a doctor's office or whatever. But we need to send this, and it needs to be secure. So how are we going to do this? Well, we're actually going to put the free ShareFile mobile app on this person's phone. So they're going to go download it, they're going to log in with their account, and then they can actually take a picture and attach the picture to it and upload it directly to ShareFile. Whether, by the way, they can be a user of ShareFile, that is the subscriber, or they can be a client, that is somebody that's just been asked to send something in. So either one of those can use this ShareFile mobile app, which is a wonderful thing. What we're actually going to do is we're going to show you a demo on this. And so to do this, we're going to show you on an iPhone. So here's our happy iPhone. And we're going to click on the ShareFile app in the upper right corner. We've logged in now. Now we're going to go to our shared folders. And so here's the folder that's shared with Sam. We're going to simply go in here, and here's a blank folder with tax documents. We'll take a picture now. We'll click on Take a Picture down here. We're going to select up here, take the picture of our W-2. Click on the button. And here's our happy W-2 for Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt. It's probably back pay for when he was frozen. Now we're going to go ahead and go in here and just put the name on this thing, and then notice it's going into TaxDoc 2016, which is our folder for tax documents. And so again, this is the one that was shared with us. We can go ahead and put any details or notes on this that we need to, and then we'll finish all of this, and then we'll click over on Done. And so you can notice we were adding this to it. Now we're going to click on Done down in the lower right corner and upload, and it will actually upload the document over cellular to this. And then here's our file. Gosh, that was brutal, wasn't it? What I want you to see here is that by doing this now, we've actually captured this, and you may not realize this, but the camera on your phone is actually good enough that that camera can actually be used for a good enough quality picture to actually be considered as good as an image. So anyway, we're using that, and you can see now we finished uploading. Gosh, that was brutal, wasn't it? Okay, so that's how we do this. Again, that app is in the Google Play Store and the iTunes App Store, and I believe there's also a Microsoft Windows version. If you're one of the 5 people still using Windows Phone, you can also log into the website and simply just attach a picture if you're logging from a tablet or something else like that. But that should work on all tablets, pretty much all tablets, and pretty much all of our smartphones as well. So this shows us what we have. Anyway, hopefully that helps you there with that one. Now, so that's one way we can save a little bit of time by using a mobile app. And you may look at this and say, well, you know, I don't know if my clients are going to install apps on here or not. Let's just look at something. Let's look at something a little bit different now. Let's say now that you're going to go through here and you need to send a more substantive document. You know, instead of just one page like that W-2, maybe we've got a 500-page file that we need to print out. You know, maybe you're somebody that's got maybe you've got a closing going on in a commercial real estate transaction and you need to get a copy of the closing binder. You know, you could print the stuff out and put it in a FedEx box and pay $100 to get it overnighted, or you could go in and send somebody a PDF through ShareFile, or you could go in and you could actually go in and send it as a password protected PDF. But then when somebody receives that PDF file, you know, they're going to forget the password. You're going to spend all this extra time dealing with them, and they're going to have to use special software to decrypt the file. So, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're doing medical records, whether you're doing some kind of retirement plan, payroll information, draft of a tax return, or a brief associated with the case. Doesn't matter. You're going to waste a lot of time with this. So how do we fix this? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to use ShareFile, but we're going to use it inside Microsoft Outlook. And so, which I don't know if you realize this, but most of your plans actually include the Microsoft Outlook add-in for ShareFile. And so what I'm going to do now is drag over here an Outlook window, and notice in here that I have ShareFile plugin options over on the right. So that is actually, let's see if I can zoom in on this. So here's the ShareFile Outlook plugin settings. And you can see that I've got all the different things. Notice we have a thing in here called encrypted email. And so I've actually requiring recipients to sign in. They're going to turn on notifications, and the files expire after 6 months. Now, what is this encrypted email? Well, it's actually pretty simple to use it. All you have to do is you have to go and download and install this Outlook plugin from the website. You should be able to get to it. From either the support site or from inside your portal. All you got to do, and this is brutal, isn't it? We click on New Email. So here's our new email that we have, and now I need to send a file to Sam. Okay, so actually let's send it to Samantha Corey at citrix.com, and I'm also going to copy myself on it, so that way I've got it. And let's say let's call this sharing a file. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it. Now, if you look up here at this stuff at the top, what I'm actually going to do is browse my PC. We're going to go pick the one off of my PC that I want to open, which is going to be here in Drive S, and then it's going to be in Teaching and ShareFile. And then what I'd like to attach here to this is going to be, let's say, this PBList demo script. And so here's the file, and let's put in here, this is a secret agent document. If this gets out, Vladimir will be hacked off. We'll be none too happy. How about that? All right.
I wonder if there are any of our viewers who know who Derek Smalls is or recognize his picture.
Anyway, there we go. And Now, all we've got to do here is, so we got this email. Now, see, if I email this thing, it's going to be just like I'm sending it through on a postcard. And you'd never put a confidential document on a postcard, because then your nosy neighbor and your postman and everybody that sees the document can read it, okay? What we're going to do, instead of clicking on send, we're going to go right above send where it says encryption off. And I'm going to just click on here, and you can see it says encryption on. Now, it already did something to this. It took my attachment and it converted it to a ShareFile attachment, okay? By using the encryption on up here, it also is going to convert the text of the document, that is, all of this stuff, is also going to be a encrypted document, okay? Now, if I just wanted to encrypt the files, I could actually use these. I could select them from other locations up here in the upper right. But again, I'm just going to do my normal email thing I would do if I was just going in and doing this. So here's all my stuff. We've gone through the whole process. If I need to, now all I'm going to do here is click on Send Secure, and notice that Send Secure word is there in this. And now I click on Send. Gosh, that was hard, wasn't it? And so now we go ahead and we send receive. And let's just go down here and look at my outbox here. Notice that's cleared out of there. Here it is now, and I believe that's my sent items there. Yeah, there we go. There's my sent items. Notice it's in my Outlook sent box here, and it says it was sent encrypted using ShareFile, and there's actually some encryption on it. Okay, so that's what it looks like here. Now let's switch away from this for a second, and let's see what it looks like when it came in. So here is my Gmail account, and there the thing is. Here's our ShareFile that we have, and notice here the thing is, now notice there's no message here, and so it says the subject is sharing a file, but there's no content in the message. There's no handlebar mustache or anything. Now I click on View Encrypted Message. Notice that it's gonna go, since I was already logged in, it's logged me in. Here's my message that we have. Notice that it's got my branding up there at the top, and you can see that all that information's in here. And then if I want to download the attachment, I just click on Download All, and then now it starts downloading the file for me. And so it doesn't matter if it's a small file like that one, or if it's a 300 meg attachment. It's all going to be uploaded through ShareFile, and then so basically we've taken that email workflow that we're all used to doing when we're responding to things, and we have simply gone in and now converted that to a message, and now we can just roll through it very nicely. Okay, so anyway, questions, comments on that? Any concerns there, Sam? I guess not. Okay.
Oh,
so
sorry, yeah, I was on mute. You are doing awesome.
Super. Okay, good deal. All right, so that's our next thing we've got. Okay, so so we started out, and we've had a couple of different ways we can work through here. Again, we've had the mobile app, and you've got the Outlook add-in. And the Outlook and the mobile app actually works with, again, pretty much any phone. The Outlook app works with Outlook 2010 and later, I want to say. So anyway, that should be pretty reliable for most of you here. All right, so that's our next thing we've got. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump back out in here, and now we're going to address another problem. You know, a lot of times you need to go back and forth with people to get documents approved, or to look at drafts and have comments on them, or do other things with them here. One of the things that's also available in ShareFile is, in most of your plans, is an approval workflow and request list. Now the request list is fairly new. Some of us in the accounting industry refer to this as a PBC list, because it's PBC stands for Prepared by Client. So when we request documents from clients, this gives us a way of giving them a detailed list of exactly what we want, and then it gives them a listing of the different things that are available. Or we can just have a simple document that needs to be approved and we need to have some comments on in here. So what we're going to do is just do a quick demo of this, and I'm going to show you how to do it relatively quickly. What I'll actually do is load up and show you my ShareFile window. And so you can see, you know, this is the new logo, the new layout and everything that you've got. Notice that I've got my folders over here. I've got my inbox and other things. But notice I have feedback and approval over here on the left. And what we're going to do now is click on that. And now that we've done that, this is going to launch the workflow tool. And so notice that I can actually go up here and click on New Workflow. And I could get approval, I can collect feedback from people. Both of those would be ways for people to do various things on stuff. And then I can also do a request list. Now I'll show you a request list a little bit later. That's a little more in depth, and it takes a little bit longer than we have today to demo it to do it. So we're going to do a get approval workflow. I'm going to assign a due date to this of the 17th, and then my approver is going to be the lovely and talented Samantha Corey at Citrix.com.
Yeah.
And then let's put in here Sam, and then that's what we have. I'm not going to have any CCs. I'm going to say, Sam, here's the document. All right, and so now all I've got to do is take the file that I want to share with her and upload it. So here's my stuff. I'm simply going to take this demo script that I have. I'm going to drag that in here. So here's the demo script now. It's uploaded, and now I'm going to start the workflow. Okay? And so now that I've done this, it shows me the document. And what it's also doing in the background is Sam's actually going to receive this on her end. So I can go through here and select various things if I need to. So there's the stuff. I can put an annotation up here and do various things with this. Let's just go back into the document now. Here's the demo script that we have. Notice that Sam's adding some comments in here. You can see the ellipsis dots are moving, indicating that she's typing. Notice that I've added the test comment over there. So that's now saved in there. And notice I can mark things as resolved or do other things with it as well. So this way, and by the way, we're doing this is a Word file I uploaded. And the Word file, we're actually doing this collaborative editing in a web browser. So I could send this Word document to somebody, and then they could be doing this commenting on it, or it could be some other kind of document. You know, it could be a PowerPoint, it could be an Excel document, it could be a PDF, and we can do this same kind of commenting in it. Notice that we've got all of this in here. Sam's got this stuff in progress right now. Now when I look at activity, oh look, she's approved it now. If I look at the annotations, these are the annotations that are associated with it. And now notice it's been marked as approved. Okay, and so now looking at this, if we go back out of here and look at my list of things, notice that it says right over here on the page that Sam has approved it. And so we've got that in here. Now another way that we could work with this would be to do a request list. So if one document wasn't enough, I could have multiple documents, and I could have multiple people responsible for it. So it could be an audit, a tax return, it could be some kind of, maybe it's a specialist physician, and they need to get stuff from a lot of different physicians related to a case. So in this, notice that I've got these tasks, and then I've actually got a number of files attached. So like this document is a book to physical reconciliation for inventory, and I have 2 requested files associated with it that have already been uploaded. And if I look at these 7 files, notice that it shows me the 7 files that have been uploaded, and I actually have a place to go in and to have comments and to go back and forth with things. And so here's the activity that's done in here, and then I notice I've added a comment saying, would you mind bringing this up to date? And so by doing this, it allows me to collaborate back and forth in here with multiple people at the same time. Now, the really cool thing about it is that when I'm working in that interface and I want to download all the files, let's just take this Bobco audit over here. You'll recall that I had the name, the email, the request, and the category, and I think the person's name in there. But if you look at this now, notice how I've got this divided up into folders. So here's a folder for inventory, and here's all the stuff that was responsive to questions related to inventory. And here's the stuff that was responsive to questions related to various things. And so by doing this now, I have actually an organized zip file that has all 20-something documents that were attached, but but it's put them into the separate folders into which they need to be. And so this is a great way of creating organization and chaos out of this thing, because if these were emailed one at a time, I'd have 30 emails I'd have to deal with, and then I'd have to, every time I wanted to check and see if somebody had sent something or not, I'd have to go back in here and I might have to read 30 emails to see if it's dealt with or not. So that's the request list tool. That's a new tool, and most of you on business plans will have access to it. If you have any questions about it, you can talk to your customer support reps or your account rep, and they can help you get set up and using those tools more effectively. But again, that's the feedback and approval stuff. Okay, Sam, did I miss anything there?
No, that was perfect. I was actually about to jump in to talk about the fact that if you don't see that on your account and you have a per user business plan or higher, then definitely give a call to your customer success manager or just call into our support team and they can get that on your account for you. But yeah, that's perfect.
Super. Okay, great. Well, that gets us through there. Now, our last thing we're going to look at is going to be backing up data or losing track of old versions of client documents. I don't know about you guys, but I go through a lot of different iterations when I'm writing things. Like I might have a client that I'm writing something for, and I'll write a version of it, and then they'll have a bunch of comments on it. Then I'll turn around and have to rewrite different sections and do other things to it. The problem is, and many times, by the way, I'll use an old document as a starting point for the new project, and then inevitably I'll save that old document with the edits I made for the new project, and I'll want to get back to the previous version of the document. Or, God forbid, you get hit by something like ransomware, where it goes in and encrypts the current versions of all your files on your network. You can actually synchronize your data with ShareFile. You can actually use ShareFile as a backup solution, especially if you've got one of the unlimited plans. And by doing this, you can actually go back and keep old versions of documents. This is called version control. And so, or file versioning. And so what we're actually going to do is we're going to show you an example of this, okay? So when we look at file versioning, let's go out to my folders, and then in my shared folders, I've got a folder in here called ShareFile Webinars. Now, if you look at this, you can see that we have this P10 list over here, okay? And so what the P10 list is, it's actually a, let me just go back out here for one thing. What the P10 list is, this is a listing that you can get from the IRS. That's everybody that's authorized to everybody's authorized to sign a tax return. So enrolled agents, CPAs, attorneys, anybody that's registered with the IRS as a paid preparer, that's the list. Now, this list is normally about 300 megabytes. And so if we look now at Drive S over here, so here's teaching files and ShareFile. Now, if you look at this, you can see that I have ShareFile Webinars, and notice that this file is actually about 300 megs for one of the versions of it, okay? Unfortunately, somebody went in here and let's just open the file up. And oh no, they deleted all 293 megs of data by saving over your file. It doesn't matter whether this is done accidentally or on purpose, whether it's due to just a clerical mistake or ransomware or due to a disgruntled employee, whatever. You may look at this and go, oh no, what am I going to do? Well, the beauty of it is that ShareFile didn't just keep the one file the way you might think of doing this on a hard drive where you have to go back to a backup or something. If you look over here to the right, you can see this blue thing over here. And these marks you see indicate and basically tell you that we actually have multiple versions of each of these three documents. So if we go to this P10 list now that I have, and we look at this, notice there's the version from April the 1st, which is the oldest version. That's probably the 150 meg version. Then we have the June version that's 200 something megs. And then we have the current version, okay? Now, what I can do here, let's go ahead and download all three of these. So if I click on download, it will actually download all 3 of the files. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and get it started downloading. It'll take a few seconds to do this. While it's starting the download, what I'm actually going to do is show you the downloaded file that we have, because this is actually a fairly substantial document. So if we look at this now, it's going to give me this zip file called ShareFile Webinars. And then if we go in and look at this, here's the version from April. Here's the version from June 13th, and here's the version from today. Now those dates, I'm going to circle those in green here. Those dates that are in the names, those are the actual dates on which they were uploaded to ShareFile. So this is a file I've had sitting in ShareFile for a while. Notice that I've got the 9 kilobytes, it's the latest one. Let's say I want to go back to the last version of it, the 299 megs. And so what I can do is I can go back over here and I can say, and by the way, notice it's downloading down in the lower left corner. So you can see I've got 93 megs out of 400 megs, and so it'll take a few minutes for it to finish downloading. Let's just cancel that out because we don't need to download another copy of it. Let's say that we look at this and we say, you know what I need to do is this highlighted one I've got that's blue, I need this one to go away, and then I need the latest one to be the current version. So if that's the case, what I'll do is I can click on delete. And now that I've deleted this, you can see we have this in here. Now, immediately if we look at this row that represents this data in my ShareFile interface, notice that it now says the file is 293 megs and it was uploaded on June 13th instead of, and so it's much larger, and we've effectively gone back to the last version. And so that's what versioning is. There's actually, if you use ShareFile to back up your data, there's actually a PowerShell script that's available that your IT person can use if you get hit by ransomware, where you can go in and basically delete all the files that were that basically were changed after when you think the ransomware hit, and by doing that you can go back to the old versions, which is probably what you're going to have for most of the files prior to the ransomware attack. So it's you can almost use it like a backup there. Okay, Sam, questions or anything on that?
No, that's perfect. And we do have, I think, next we're on the question and answer section. That's pretty much it for the demonstration of the different features. So if you guys have any questions that you haven't yet put into the question panel, feel free to put them in now. And I'm going to go ahead and, if you're okay, Brian, I'll go ahead and answer some questions.
Great.
All right. So one of the questions that we got was about personal branding. They noticed that Brian's account has that nice personal brand on it, and they're wondering how they can get their own personalized branding on their account. And anybody with a ShareFile account can do that. You can either go to settings, and there should be in there a appearance, change appearance or edit appearance settings. You can do that. You can also always talk to your, exactly.
Yeah, so you can see here that I've got this is personal settings. If I go to admin settings, here's edit company branding down here. So again, you click on the gear in the lower icon, you click on you click on company account information and edit company branding, and that's going to, and then Bob's your uncle. Okay. By the way, I actually did this. Your customer success manager will actually help you do this when you set it up. I actually did this myself in about 90 seconds the other day because I was tired of looking at the plain thing that they had, so I changed it up a little bit. So this is not brutally difficult to do at all.
Yeah. And like you said, if you have maybe some trouble getting your actual logo down to a smaller size and would like help, you can also always email our branding team, and they are just branding@sharefile.com. Again, that's branding@sharefile.com, and they can help you out. And just send them a JPEG of your brand.
And let me show you down here in the lower left corner. By the way, this is something else that's important. Many times people will sign up for this, and they'll sign up for a name, and they'll want to keep the old name, but maybe they want a different one. So like maybe I signed up for Brian Tankersley CPA, And I figured out that people can't spell either Brian or Tankersleek the way I do every single time. So notice that I added a second one that's BFT CPA. So that's another cool thing you can do is have different names. And notice that doesn't take away the old name. So if my clients go to that old address, it's still there. But now I have both of these registered.
Right. Yeah, and another question that's coming in is a couple questions about pretty much the features that we're seeing today. You know, if some people are saying, hey, I don't see these on my account. Again, what I would do is contact your customer success manager. You should have an email from them around the time that you purchased your account. And if you cannot find an email from one of them by searching customer success or citrix.com in your email, then you can always contact our support team. And they are support@sharefile.com. You can also call them at 1-800-441-3453.
800.
Which I believe spells 441 file or something file, if that makes it easier. All right. And then another question that came in more on the technical side is, how do my clients use ShareFile? Do they need a ShareFile account? And does that cost a license? That's a fantastic question. Any ShareFile account that you purchase will come with a specific number of paid licenses. Those are, we call those employee licenses. But then you can have an unlimited number of free client licenses. Right, so Create Employee would be a paid license that you're taking up. Create Client is a free license. So you can create anybody as a client on your account, and they will just have less abilities than an employee user. So this actually follows another question that we were getting is, what if I don't see Outlook in my email? It could be that you are a client user on an account. You do have to be a paid employee user on someone's ShareFile account to install the Outlook plugin to your Microsoft Outlook email. But clients will be able to access feedback and approval workflow. They'll be able to access the mobile app and download that to their phone. And it really gives you guys as the admins the ability to organize your clients and keep them in line, but also give them the opportunity to see parts of the account that they need to be a part of.
Okay, and don't overlook the apps icon up here in the upper right corner. This is where you get the Outlook add-in, where you get the file sync, and where you can get a desktop app, and they have some additional add-ins here which I won't go into, like a medical imaging uploader. I mean, you got all kind of stuff you can do here. And this is just the Windows stuff. I mean, goodness gracious, it just keeps going and going.
That's right. Actually, if you can go to stay on that integrations tab where you are right now, where it says write signature, someone asked a question about, can I send things out securely to get signed? And the answer is yes. You can, if you don't already have a bundle of ShareFile and Write Signature and any of our other cloud products, you can purchase licenses of Write Signature as well, which is sending documents through a secure link where you can sign digitally and have other people sign digitally, and it comes back with a full certification, and it's accepted by many different bars around the United States as legally binding. But yeah, so the Write Signature is the answer to that question.
Yeah, and the Write Signature tool is remarkably easy to work with over there. It really is a pretty neat little tool and very easy to use.
Great, and I think that's really it for questions. Yeah, and Brian, is there anything else that you kind of want to end on today?
Not really. I just wanted to show you all that this is actually a right signature tool that I used that I did earlier this year to just try it out myself. Notice that I actually did my mark on here. It'll actually let you use your mouse to sign things, so you can use your mouse, you can type things. It's actually pretty slick. The thing to know here about this is that there are a ton of tools that are provided with ShareFile, and every time I go to some of the people over there that I talk to, I'll call Laura on the phone and say, Laura, have you ever thought about doing this? Oh yeah, it's in beta already. And so they're really thinking hard about how to make this tool more usable. Don't hesitate to go through here and try out some of these tools as you get into your busy times of the year, because they can save you time, 5-10 minutes at a throw on every single one of these things. And when you don't have time to sell, it's great to be able to reclaim 5 and 10 minutes at a time using some of these tools.
Perfect.
And Sam, I'd like to thank you for having me today. Everybody, I hope you have a great first quarter, and may God have mercy on all your souls as we go into tax time. I hope everybody has a great year, and we hope to see you soon.
Yep, and we will reach out if we didn't get to your specific question today, and we'll send a copy of the webinar recording to everybody. But yeah, again, thank you, Brian. You were absolutely terrific, and I had a blast.
As did I. Hope everybody has a great day.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.